Bill O'Reilly is a loathsome human being who has, of course, once again settled in a sexual harassment lawsuit with a former Fox News employee. That makes God knows how many sexual harassment lawsuits against the guy. So now, let me give you an example of how much money Fox News has forked out for this guy. $13 million since 2004. For all the different women that have sued him over the years for sexual harassment. Now, these are conservative women. They worked for O'Reilly. They were on his show. Eventually got phased out, or they were, people who worked on and off the camera. So, look, they worked for Fox News. So, what he would do is he would sexually harass them, call them up while he was apparently masturbating, which is disgusting. So, there's some pretty messed up stuff, and there are transcripts of this. So, it's not like we're making any of this stuff up. No, there are transcripts. We know exactly what he was doing. We could go and read what he was saying in some of these transcripts, although I would rather save you from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so pathetic he has to shit where he eats, I mean, it's like, this is a guy that, he is famous, and, maybe infamous is the better way to put it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of women who would, just by who he is, be like, oh, no. But I'm sure there's a lot of apolitical people out there that would just be like, hey, this guy's got status. That's pretty cool. I mean, I guess he could try to tap into his fan base for his sexual needs, but I mean, I guess maybe he's not into women over 75. I don't know what the situation is. But it's pretty sad that he has to dangle a carrot. I mean, we talked about this on the Jimmy Dore show. It's pretty sad he has to dangle that carrot over employees' heads to try to get laid when you're that rich and that powerful. Yeah. I mean, honestly, he could afford the highest end prostitutes that are out there. Why? If
only we made it legal
them in New York. What?
If only we made it legal. But he's against that because that's immoral.
You think he wouldn't? I mean, I'm sure that wouldn't be beneath him to pay.
No, of course.
I don't judge it in general. I'm just saying from his perspective. I don't think that. I mean, yeah, I know he plays the moral high card, but he also is an alcoholic that abused his wife and has said terrible things and done terrible things and is a verbally abusive person to work for. I don't think it would be some moral high ground why he wouldn't do something like that. So, why not just do that? I mean, he's got the money. Why do you have to like do something that, I guess it's just the risk of like, oh, I'm doing something dangerous.
Ugh.
I could get in trouble. I don't know. I mean, I just don't understand why you're that rich and that
I just think
powerful.
he's a perv.
Why you have to shit where you eat.
I just don't think he has, I don't think he can stop himself, really. I think it's one of those things where he can't stop himself. He just has to do it. That's my read of the whole thing. But no, it's some of the phrases that you were using. Dangle the carrot. Really? Do you want to give me that visual? Thanks. Appreciate that.
I just think it's kind of funny imagining like if he like when he's trying to like spit game, he talks about how like he talks like the way he does in his show. Like if he's like,
Talking
darling,
Points
today's
Memo
word
thinks you're
is
hot.
vibrator. I want you to use one. I want to watch you use one.
No. Talking Points Memo thinks that you should use that vibrator.
Yeah.
and let Talking Points Memo watch.
What a weirdo.
But okay, anyway, we're trashing on O'Reilly, but the story's actually about Donald Trump. Ironically enough.
Oh yeah, because he defended him.
Yes, he actually took to the New York Times to defend O'Reilly, saying, quote, "I think he's a person I know well. He is a good person. I think he shouldn't have settled. Personally, I think he shouldn't have settled because you should have taken it all the way. I don't think Bill did anything wrong." Classic Trump. I wouldn't have settled. But wait, didn't you settle almost every lawsuit that came your way, Mr. Trump? For example, Trump University? Just saying.
That's pretty much in some ways Trump's subtle way of saying I'm guilty. Because, I mean, he's saying that
Right.
he doesn't believe Bill O'Reilly's guilty. So he's like, well, you should never settle if you're not guilty. Well, Donald Trump has settled in single situation, which
Mm-hmm.
means, well, Donald Trump, clearly guilty. Bill O'Reilly, I think he's guilty too, but I guess Donald Trump doesn't think he is.
No, he does not. But
Because Donald looked into his heart.
no, is that what it is?
He's got a good heart.
Oh, channeling George W. Bush there.
That's
Wonderful.
right. The guy that's now a cute paint by numbers guy. We forgot about all those war crimes.
Yeah, we
now
did.
he's having photo ops with Ellen.
But no, look, I have a theory on why Trump is defending O'Reilly, because Donald Trump is just like O'Reilly on these issues. Remember, this is a guy who said this. Remember those tapes with Billy Bush, where he promised to. Yeah. So that's the guy. He can't help himself. Remember, he's like, oh, I can't. When I'm around beautiful women, I can't help myself. I start to kiss them.
Yeah.
I need the Tic Tacs. Which, by the way,
Yeah,
Tic
I was
Tacs.
gonna say he sent Bill O'Reilly a care package of Tic Tacs and locker room attire and said, "Hang in there, buddy. We're gonna be okay."
Again with the terrible visuals. Really, hang in there. No thanks. I'll pass.
Hey man, you're drawing those conclusions. That's
Sure.
on your conscience.
Disgusting. So, but here's the worst part about this whole thing, Ron. As if there could be, an even worse part of this whole situation. This happened during Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month,
Right.
which is, yeah, disaster. Sad. What a disgusting human being. And a disgusting group of human beings and perverts. This is a guy we've got running the country. And O'Reilly is, he just got renewed at Fox News, right? His contract. And his show is one of the highest rated on Fox News as well. This is who a lot of people watch. This is who a lot of people look up to. And again, we have the President of the United States, who's the same kind of person. And that says something about our culture.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. And the fact that, out of all the pundits on Fox News, O'Reilly is actually reasonable, comparatively speaking. Compared to Sean Hannity, compared to, a lot of, other people on that network, he's actually reasonable in comparison, which is insane. Which is absolutely insane. And, especially, looking at Sean Hannity, he's smart in comparison. Again, underline the in comparison part.
That's important.
Please.
That's important.
I don't want anyone in the Ron Plagone just said Bill O'Reilly's smart and reasonable. No. I said, compared to Sean Hannity, he is both of those things. Sean Hannity's not very bright. He just isn't.
No, he's not.
And he is, a lunatic. And Bill O'Reilly is actually, compared to that, further along the sanity scale in comparison. So yeah, it speaks volumes.
Yeah. Well, O'Reilly knows who butters his falafel.
Yeah.
Just
He
saying.
certainly does. He
Just
certainly
saying.
does. And the thing to get more outraged about, I was talking about this because he got in trouble kind of recently. He also got in trouble recently for saying something racist. Again, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Between the racism and the other sexual harassment case, I think, if things get any worse for Bill O'Reilly, he might stop hating poor people. Dare to dream. But he, actually... he actually would fit in at any other network. And that's that should be the most disturbing thing. The fact that somebody like this, if Fox News ended his contract tomorrow, MSNBC and or CNN would jump to have him, and he would fit in fine at either network. Yes, including your, quote, progressive MSNBC.
Are you kidding me? They haven't been progressive for pretty much ever.
Hence
Okay.
this part.
Yeah,
Hence
no.
this part.
They remember how they
I
stopped
know
leaning
some of
forward.
I know some of the viewers and listeners are a little bit at ends when we go after MSNBC, but you know what? They've been faux progressive. Rachel Maddow has been very disappointing, and Bill O'Reilly would fit in just fine there. I mean, they're a
He
network
would
that's been
be
bragging about being more conservative.
he would be right after Chris Matthews.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, they two they would fit in right
Yeah.
together.
They would fit in, and I think if anything, at this particular moment, that network is being the most irresponsible out of the three because I mean CNN we kind of just count for it for nothing. Fox News we know is a fringe right lunatic haven. MSNBC is supposed to be kind of the clearest picture of the bunch, and they're just doing their best McCarthy impression, and it's working. By the way, now we might have conflict with Syria now,
Great.
which would lead to conflict with Russia. So
Well,
so
we
they might
already
get what
have-
they want.
We already have boots on the ground in Syria too.
Yeah,
We're
I mean,
we're in
so-
a tenuous
so-
situation. Not to
and
get
it
too
could
far off
escalate
topic.
now.
But yeah, I mean, literally, we've got like what 4 different armies sitting around Syria right now, 4 or 5. Got the Iranians, got the Russians, got our guys, the whatever the Syrian rebels are, Al Qaeda, whatever, ISIS, all pretty close to each other, and that's never good. That's never good. So it's a powder keg, and it's gonna go off. And it's already bad there, but it's gonna get worse. But that's off topic. But again, Donald Trump and Bill O'Reilly, creeps of a feather, stick together. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.